Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 27th of 2025, but this is a Timeless Tarot reading, so whenever you find it is exactly when it was meant to find you. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine, in accordance with the 8 human chakras and along the path of the tarot, so that we can get a better understanding of exactly how to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I've already done a pre-shuffle, but I'd like to get a couple more just to make sure that everything is where Spirit would have it to be. And now we will begin pulling with the base. And in the base, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Sun. In the solar plexus, we have the Queen of Pentacles. In the heart, we have the Five of Wands. In the throat, we have the Six of Wands. In the third eye, we have Justice in reverse. And in the crown, we have the Nine of Swords. And we're going to save the 8th card for the end of the read in the Divine Feminine. Next, we will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine, the cards that are already on the table, lets us know what the current situation and energies are. The Divine Masculine lets us know what steps and actions that we can take in order to help manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And now we will begin pulling with the crown. And in the crown we have the Seven of Cups. Ooh. In the third eye we have the Three of Wands. In the throat we have the King of Pentacles. In the heart we have Justice in reverse again. In the solar plexus we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And in the base, we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And we're going to leave the 8th card on the Divine Masculine until the end. Alright, let's walk the path of tarot and see what Spirit is trying to tell us today. We begin in the crown. This is hopes and fears. This is the path of awareness. This is where you begin to see that the divine might have plans for you. It is what your hopes and fears reside in. And it looks like it is going to be a fearful day today. We have the Nine of Swords. So we are starting out with the PTSD card. That's what I call this. This guy is awake at night because he cannot sleep because he has defeated all of these people and it is bothering him. He is on the path of combat. This is swords. Swords are thought, intellect, air, soul, combat, and communications. Now this can be a thought. It is probably a thought. He is staying up because of the thoughts that he has, right? The thoughts are keeping him awake. PTSD is quite often not about what has happened to you, but about how you reacted in this situation. And he is not altogether happy about this battles, right? He has won all these battles. He has stacked these swords on the wall because he has defeated these people. And he is not happy about that. This is indicating that in your current situation in life, this is the Divine Feminine, your hopes and fears are centered around your thoughts and your past regrets. Right? This is a card of past regrets. Now this is a 9 card. 9 represents a choice in your life to take the higher path. This is the presentation of the reinvestment of your things is the 8, right? The harvest that you get with the 7, you get a choice. What am I going to do with these things? That's the 8. And with the 9, you make that choice. Either to do this thing or to do that thing. Either one is valid. It is your life. But your thoughts, your recollections, your past regrets are the thing that is really holding you back from the manifestation that you were trying to accomplish in your life. This is your hopes and dreams, or your hopes and fears, not dreams. That's over here. And so this is you fearing, regretting your decisions in your life. And that is clarified by these 7 of Cups. 7 is about a harvest. Cups are about an emotional situation. If you're regretting your past decisions, that might be an emotional situation. Cups are about feelings. They are body, spirit. It is familial connections, spousal connections, co-worker connections, and friendships. But it is not the people, the actual physical things. It is the emotions behind that. This is a card of fulfillment. It is a 7. That means that it is the end of the first cycle, the cycle of awareness of feelings. This is you learning to balance your feelings. Inside of these 7 cups are contained the coins that are the virtues and the vices. Each of the virtues and the vices are represented. There is a representative for hope and despair, sloth and diligence, pride and humility, greed and charity, gluttony and temperance, lust and chastity, and love and wrath. Each one of these cups represents you choosing the balance between those particular things. This is the resistance of temptation, the appropriate use of choice in an emotional situation. Your current recommendation is to embrace that, right? Using the appropriate emotions, understanding that this past regret is something that you cannot change, but now you can make the appropriate decisions around the emotions so that you can get past this despair that you are feeling behind your past decisions. Next, we're going to go to the area of choices. This is the third eye. It is your dreams and aspirations. It is where you make a choice to choose to follow your dreams and aspirations. It is the area that governs sloth and diligence. This is the true reflection of this is balance. That is the equal between slothfulness, which is doing nothing, and diligence, which is doing everything. You are meant to be busy, not fully consumed all of the time. There is a time for play as well. Now, here, in your hopes and aspirations, your dreams and your choices, you are being faced with justice in reverse. Justice is an 11 card, and an 11 is going to be an understanding. This is going to be the clarifier for the Page of Cups. Page of Swords. And so this can indicate that there may be something around a communication or an idea. Not necessarily, but it is clarifying a Cups or a Swords card. This is in the thoughts spot with a at least tangentially thoughts card. It may be thoughts related. There is a thought holding you back. You have this in the reverse. Now, when it is standing tall, he is seated in his throne of authority, and he is giving the law, right here, represented by the scales. He has his sword of discernment in his hand, held upright, ready to use, and he is dispensing the law fairly. This is equal distribution with no favor given to any particular parties, with the law being distributed perfectly. Now, you have this as not, right? And so if this is in the current situation, everything is being distributed perfectly, then this is in the current situation, it is not. And there is something that you have to understand around an idea in order to bring that perfect balance into being. Now, what can you do? You can learn something. This is a 3. 3s are about learning something. There is always something more to learn whenever you make a choice, say with a 2 or a 9. Whenever you make that choice, there is something to learn about what you chose. If you're staying on the same path, there will be something new to learn about that path. If you're going on a new path, of course, there's going to be something to learn. But there is always something to learn. This is indicating in your current situation, right? This is what is currently happening. This is your current advice. And your current advice is to learn something about change. Now, wands are spirit, they are fire, they are life, light, logos, they are change, and they are intuition. Now, this is an intuition card in an intuition spot. That is how you receive your hopes and your dreams. It's through your intuition. Right, this is all thoughts at the top. 3s are either a spirit of cooperation or a spirit of isolation. Not as much as a hermit would be, for instance, but he is by himself standing on the mountaintop. He has made a decision to invest in ships, and they are out sailing the sea. He is waiting to learn whether his investments will be valid or not. Once they come back, he can understand whether he had made the right choice. But right now, he is in the process of making a choice. This is you making a choice. This is you making a choice or learning about the choice by yourself, right? That doesn't mean that there will not be other people involved, but it does mean that it is primarily you that will be driving this understanding or this learning process. And so your hopes, dreams, aspirations are that you want this balance and it is not there yet, and the way that you get it is by learning something. This is probably an intuitive thing. It may not be necessarily change, even though wands are the cards of change. This is intuition, and your intuition is what is going to lead you to learn. You learn from your intuition by yourself. And so this does indicate to me that there is some balance to be stricken in the application of the law somehow. Now, you might be a judge and you need to be balanced, but that's probably not what's going on here. There is some sense of injustice around a thought or an idea. This emotional understanding, this harvest that you're going to get, is going to lead to this learning. And this learning is what is going to, this intuitive leap around this learning is what's going to bring this justice into being. Next, we're going to go to the area of lessons. This is the area of communication. And how do you learn? By communicating, either with the world directly or with people indirectly. When you communicate with people, you are learning from them. They are learning from you. This is the area that deals with pride and humility. So taking too much credit in your work, not taking enough. Neither one is good. Your challenge, right, or your lesson. This is lessons. This is challenges. Your lesson is victory, right? And that is reiterated by this king here. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But your current situation, your current lesson is how to be victorious, right? That can be a little bit difficult if you have been living a life where you have not been victorious, right? Getting into an agreement with yourself. Hey, look, I am a victor. I am worthy of these things, right? Having a little bit of pride in your work will allow that to happen. You may be a little bit too humble in this. But this is the victory card. He is riding the white horse, and the white horse signifies either victory or assistance. Now, this is communication. It can be assistance. This is wands. It is about fire. It is about thought, or not thought, fire and intuition. Intuition is a little bit different from thought. Thought is you actively thinking. Intuition is just a flash of inspiration, right? This can represent intuition. This can represent change in your life. And so this is a victorious change. Probably not intuition, although it might be because of this 3. But this is in the area of communication, right? And so this is probably you being victorious in change. But this is victory. He has the laurel of victory on his wand of change. He has victory around his head. These people are celebrating his victory. There is one guy back here who is supposed to be a little bit jealous, but it's hard to make out. There's always somebody going to be jealous of you being victorious. But your current situation is that you are learning a lesson around victory. And that is clarified by the King of Pentacles. Kings are the divine masculine, fully matured, making all of the appropriate decisions without any of the malice that is attributed to the emperor, for instance. This is the final harvest of the provisionary path. Pentacles are about provision. It is body. It is, do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? All of that is pentacles. This is the final harvest. It's the 14 card, the completion of the secondary provisionary path, generational provision. This is a fully developed, emotionally mature, fully able to provide for himself person. Now, this is male or female, doesn't really matter. It's the spirit. Everybody contains both the masculine and the feminine. This is perfectly balanced, perfect harvest. Like, it really does not get any better than these 2 cards in this. Like, maybe it could, right? If the sun was right here, it would be better. If the world was right here, it would be better. But there's not a whole lot that's going to be better than learning a lesson about victory, right? This wasn't presented in the reverse where you're learning a lesson about defeat. This is learning a lesson about victory. And you do so on the provisionary path with the final harvest of generational provision. Like, how does it get better than that? Next, we're going to go to the heart, and the heart is the area of interpersonal relationships. It is the area of understanding. Once you learn a lesson, it's time to understand the things that you have learned. And what are you facing? Now, well, hold on. This is also the area that deals with greed and charity. Greed is the love of the mortal coil, holding on to things a little bit too much. Charity is the love of the spiritual coil, holding on to things not quite enough, and neither one is good. You are meant to be in the balance. True understanding is that as well. This is interpersonal relationships because greed and charity are intricately tied to that, right? You are either giving to other people or you are withholding from people. That's a personal relationship. You are either giving your time or you're withholding your time. That's an interpersonal relationship. So it is your core being, right? So it's you, who you are, but it is also how you interact with other people. Now, your interpersonal relationships are a little bit rocky right now. That doesn't mean that they all are, but there is some conflict. It is around the change that is unfolding in your life or this intuitive leap. But once again, this is not thoughts, right? This is fire. This is change. This is going to be a change card in the change spot. This represents spirit in the overall pattern. And so this can absolutely indicate that there is some conflict around change, right? Maybe you are changing your belief systems, and that can be a little bit hard for people who have been in your life. Maybe you are changing dependency patterns, whether that be with substances or people. That can be hard for people that you have been associated with. If you have been partaking of substances with a group of people and you decide not to partake, that can cause some challenges around change. That is an example. It is not the example, but it is fairly easy to understand. And so this is a challenge around a change in your life. Now, this is a mutual combat card. This is not one of the harder combat cards. There are some that are more difficult. But this is, all of these people are practicing. They're sparring, right? It is a challenge. There is some physicality to it, but nobody's in real danger in this. Everybody is mutually having a little bit of combat, so this may not be, right, while it is challenging, it's not necessarily you're about to break up with your spouse because things went the wrong way. There is maybe a conversation that needs to happen around the change occurring in your life, and it will be a difficult one. And clarifying that, we've got justice in reverse again. Whenever we get these cards twice in the same read, especially if they're in the same orientation, that is a reiteration by Spirit, right? Now, Spirit is telling you that here in your third eye, which is choices and dreams, your aspirations, that there is a little bit of an imbalance in your life around justice. There is a conflict here, and there is a not balance to be stricken. If this would have presented upright, what we would see is you are faced with a conflict and you are to give the balance, right? There is something here that you need to give. There is some balance that you need to strike because it is upright. But because this is in the reverse, this is somebody else needs to find the balance. You are probably balanced here. That is why this is a mutually beneficial combat card in association with this. Somebody needs to make a choice. It is a 9. No, it isn't. That's an 11. And there's an understanding, right? And so there is an understanding to be had around this conflict, and it requires you to be, right? The other person is the one that's going to have to give to strike the balance. That doesn't mean that you get to be overbearing, right? But you're mostly in the right in this situation. Not entirely. Nobody is ever entirely in the right, but mostly, right? And so while there is some conflict to be resolved, probably, and another interpretation, right? You do have this internal reflection, this PTSD card. This central trunk is lined. This conflict can be this. This conflict does not have to be someone else. And if that is the case, that this conflict is this PTSD, and you are to find this balance, then this is that you already have too much balance in the wrong way, dealing with the law side of things. Maybe you are holding to a religious law, and some of those things are not necessarily beneficial. But this can be that you're holding a little bit too tightly to the rules, and that is what is causing this mutual conflict in your life. the conflict around change. If the rule set is changing, that can be a problem, right? If you are coming to a new understanding of a belief system, then the rule set is changing. Some of the things that you used to believe are not going to be the same. That would be justice, right? That would be a conflict. This would be internal. This is the heart. That is internal as well as external. With the communication area being pure victory and this being internal, this is probably going to be internal too. And that is taking that in light of the cards that are on the table, right? That's not, if it was by itself, it would probably be the interpersonal, but it's not. And this 9, right, that is definitely leading into this. All right, next we're going to go to the area of challenges. This is, once you have the understanding, you can rise to meet the challenge. It is also the area that deals with gluttony and temperance, and those can present challenges in your life. The overconsumption of things, the underconsumption of things, neither one are intrinsically good. And in your current situation, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this right-hand path is linked. You have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles both presenting upright. This is the current energy. This is actions to be taken. Your current energy for your challenges is that you are being nurturing, right? This is the nurture card. It is the Queen. The Queen is just past the Knight, which is a challenge, and not quite to the King, which is the harvest. And this is giving the appropriate energy to get to the appropriate harvest. This is the divine feminine, fully matured, able to make the appropriate decisions without the emotional clouding that you would find with the Empress, per se. And so, she is sitting victorious on the path of provision with everything that she needs, right? This is your current situation in your challenges. You are nurturing a little bit too much, possibly, or you need to nurture a little bit in this particular area, but there is a challenge around nurturing of the provisionary path. Now you're being told you're coming to the end of this particular provisionary path. There will be a new path unfolding, but for now, you're coming to the end of the path. You are currently finishing up the divine feminine. That is your challenge, to work into the nurture. Right? You do have a challenge here in your challenge spot, but you are to reach this divine masculine, and that is the next step past this. And so these are probably linked. This challenge and this learning are probably linked, but it appears to be around victory. You are on the right side of this. I mean, you do have the Sun and the 10 of Pentacles coming up next. So, and you've got the 7 of Pentacles. Like, for real, this is a wild read. Clarifying this with some actions that can be taken is to not have some well, this is a Knight. Knights are about challenges. This is the challenge spot. This is a challenge, right? Knights are about rising to meet the challenge. With the Page, you get the understanding so that you can rise to meet the challenge of the Knight. And then once you meet the challenge of the Knight, you move to the Queen, where you give the nurturing energy as you rest right before the harvest. And so, this is a Knight of Cups. Cups are about feelings and understandings. This challenge is related to a feeling giving you a challenge. I wonder if, right? Now, the thought giving you a challenge, I wonder if that's possible. This is a challenge around an emotional situation that is coming to you. Much like this would be somebody else needing to bring the balance. This Knight in reverse is the challenge coming to you. You are still rising to meet the challenge. It is still a Knigget, but because it is a Knigget, he is rising to meet the challenge by letting the challenge come to him. And this challenge is around the emotional path. Now, this is you nurturing in the provisionary path, this challenge in the emotional path. And this is your current challenge. You have a lesson to learn around victory. This indicates victory also, right? Not as much as this does, but the Queen is a very positive card for your current situation. Dealing with Pentacles, right? The provision. Your challenge is going to be, or is presently, but more likely is going to be learning how to be victorious and to have the resources that apparently you have not had up till now. All right, next we're going to move over to the area of physical desires. This is the sacral. It can indicate children. It is the area that deals with lust and chastity, the giving away of the physical affection, the not receiving of the physical affection, and neither one is intrinsically good. This is what you want to create in your life, right? You envision your future, you energetically invest, you take positive steps. What you are trying to create in your life, you got the sun. Like, there is only one card in the entire deck that is better than this one. That is the world, the culmination of the final harvest. This is the sun. This is not like, this is better than the star, and the star is your wishes coming true, right? This is divine providence, divinely providing divine providence, right? He is riding the white horse of victory or assistance. The sun is up here. There are sunflowers back here. There's a victory ribbon. The baby is riding the horse naked, indicating new starts, new beginnings, new growth, new things. Look beyond the normal. This is a provisionary card in the provisionary spot. Now, this is the true provisionary spot, but this is the area that deals with what you want to create. You are wanting to create abundance in your life, right? That is showing up. If you can get past this regret, these self-imposed restrictions that you're placing upon yourself, make the decision to make the emotional harvest. This is all of the good things coming into your life. Now, if this was in the provisionary path, it would be even better. But this is what you are trying to create in your life, is the provision on a divine level, right? This king is the same thing. This queen is almost the same thing, right? And so you are being faced with provision. And I know somebody's going to take that as a bad thing, but like, I really don't see any other way to read this. Like, you got the Ten of Pentacles as the clarifier. Now it's in reverse, so it's not there yet, but it's right there. This is generational provision. This is the generational provision card. Now, this is a 10, so it is about learning the higher path of provision. You are being presented with a choice around that path. You are bringing it into the old one. And so this is, there's an old guy right here, right? This old guy is the patriarch of this couple, and they have children down here playing. And there's a child right here, and then there's some dogs, and there's their city, and there's the ark. And this is a provisionary card, generational provision. The old man has provided for his children, who is in turn providing for their children. Provisionary. Learning. There is learning about the provisionary path currently unfolding in your life, or about to. Now, it's in the reverse, which means that it is coming to you. You are not to seek it out. You do have this coming, right? These are linked across here. Victory, a challenge around your thoughts, and victory. Provision. Overarching, this is a highly provisionary read today. Take it as you will. Next, we're going to go to the provision and the harvest. This is the seventh step in the path of the tarot. This is the end of the first path of progression. This is you being provided for. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Provision. You have two provision cards in your provision spot. Now, they are both in the reverse, which indicates you're not quite there yet. But you have the 2 in the reverse. Now, 2s are about choices, exactly like the 9 on a lesser level. Right? This is the path of provision on the first end, and there is a choice that you are being faced with. If this is upright, then you are being faced with the choice right now, and you need to make it right now. This is coming, imminent. You're not quite there. There is still a choice, but it is not right now. Now, that is being clarified by the 7 of Pentacles, which is the harvest of the first provisionary path. You're being given that the harvest of a provisionary path is coming. Now, this is the secondary. because the first one is coming to an end. There is something like what is happening here is he is leaning upon his farming implement and he has one of the fruits under his feet. But these other ones, they're still on the bush. They're still almost ripe. Not quite, but almost ripe. He is about to harvest the first path of provision. Then he'll be presented with a new path, and then he'll be presented with a new choice. Your current situation is that you are being presented with a new choice, or you are about to imminently be presented with a new choice in the provisionary path, and the actions that you can take is to bring in a harvest, but you're not to go out and get the harvest. The harvest is coming to you. Once again, just like this 10 is, don't go out and seek the generational provision. It is coming. This is the exact same thing. And so once again, we are seeing provision. Right? And there's no other way of looking at that. This is the provisionary path with a choice about the harvest. It is coming to you, right? This choice won't show up until this harvest is there. The harvest is not quite there, but it's close, right? This victory, it's imminent. This provisionary harvest, it's right there. It's in the future. There is a lot going on. Next, we're going to go to the divine. This is a direct message from the divine. It is not colored by any of the virtues and the vices. The divine has the virtues and vices in perfect balance. This is the presentation of the higher path, right? If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is step 8 on the path of the tarot. And the divine feminine is telling you there is a new path. We have the Ace of Wands. This is a brand new presentation, but it's in the reverse, which means you've already been presented with this change. When this is standing upright, this is the divine handing you change. This is the awareness that there is a change. This is not making the choice about the change. This is merely coming to the awareness that the change is there. This is, oh look, there's a path. You're not saying, am I going to walk it yet? That is a 2. This is the realization of a new path. And when it is standing upright, you are being presented with a new path right now. But you've got it in the reverse, which says you have already been presented with a new path. You may not be fully upon it yet, but you're probably at least considering it. Now, you do have a fair good amount of change occurring here. Let's see. Let's look at this, because we got Pentacle, 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 Pentacle. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pentacles out of 16 cards so far. You've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana. You've got 1, 2, 3 wands. And there's some cups here. So it's not balanced. It's mostly provisionary. I was thinking that there was something missing, but we do have swords and cups. So anyway, this is the presentation of a new path. Let's see what the divine is going to say. What do you think it's going to be? Put it in the box down below what you think this is going to be. What steps and actions can be taken? I'm going to say it's probably going to be a balance card. Nope. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about change. It is a challenge in the change coming to you. If this is upright, this is you rising to meet the challenge of change. But this is in the reverse, which indicates there is change, there is challenge, but you are ready to meet it. It just has to come to you. This is, I could have guessed waiting too, I guess, but this is a wait. The change is coming and it is challenging. Now, what do we have if we put these two cards together in accordance with everything else that is on the deck? You are being presented with change. Change is imminently occurring in your life. You may have a measure of control over it. It does appear that the change may be related to some thoughts, some self-imposed restrictions that you have put into place. You may be clinging a little bit too tightly to the law, and there may be a need for some change, the presentation. But you find this change challenging, and you may or may not be fully equipped to reach out and meet the change. The change is most likely coming to you. It is rather imminent in your life. What we are seeing overarching between all of these cards is that there is a challenge around change. I'm going to flip this back around so you can look at this. But this is challenge around change. This is challenge around change. This one is right now. It is mutual combat. This one is coming in the future. But it is the actions that you can take. And it is divinely inspired, right? And so you are to allow this challenge to come to you. That's going to bring us to the end of the read, and hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment whether you agree or disagree with anything that was stated. Put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt. Peace.